Hey everyone, and welcome back to the breakfast show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening therapy session. This is going to be a therapy session because, yes, it has been a, let's call it bloodbath. And again, I know market is only 3%, 4% away of all-time highs, but like we keep repeating, it doesn't really matter because there are plenty of stocks that are down 20, 30, 50% already from their highs, right? Okay, some of the stocks that are down 50% or so from the highs probably were quite stretched. Yes, if you have questions about Duolingo, again, Duolingo is down quite significantly just this week, right? Just this week. And of course, from their highs, they're down even more. But first up, good morning to everyone. Good afternoon to everyone in the chat. We are here on Friday. We're going to open the market in 26 minutes. But right now, as you can see, this was basically the market yesterday. Was not a good day all in all. Was not a good day all in all. And if we look at the pre-market, it seems like today is not going to be the greatest of days either. No, it's not the greatest of days either. If you look at the pre-market action for some of the names that we do follow, Nebius is down another 4%. Applied Digital, same thing with Zeta, Iren as well. Iren reported yesterday. Reddit. So we have plenty of names that are down 2-3% or so. Intel is the only one that's flat. Now, yesterday, if we go and look at yesterday's performance, Duolingo was down 25% at the end of the day. Iren down 12.3%, Rocket Lab 12%. So literally high beta names are down significantly. Duolingo was down because of the earnings report. I made a video about that. If you want, I'll talk a little bit more about Duolingo. But some of the crazy moves have also been from the likes of Shift4, the likes of Oscar, right? These names were actually up 12%, 10% or so at one point, right? If we look, for example, at, where is it? Shift4 basically did a PayPal or a Duolingo from 3 months ago, right? Shift4 was up 11% at one point, right, at the start of the day, and closed out the day yesterday red. Crazy swings. Same with Oscar. Where is Oscar? Oscar as well was up until $19 per share, closed out the day down 2.7%. Huge swings. Now, again, since this is therapy session, we have to talk about emotions here, because for Oscar, What were, if you're a holder of Oscar, let's say, what were you thinking when the stock was around these prices? Were you saying, oh, amazing quarter, amazing company? If that was the case, are you still saying the same thing right here when we are now at $16, or has the tone changed? Right? Because essentially at the end of the day is, can you control your emotions when we are experiencing these types of drawdowns, right? When we are experiencing these types of irrational moves from the market, because they are irrational, right? When a stock is up 10% at the start of the day because of a good report, and then it closes the day down 2.7%, you know it has very little to do with the company and more with the market. And as long as that's the case, yes, the sun is literally, there is a bloodbath in the market, but the sun shines on me. So I'll take it. I'll take it. Um, but yeah, this is basically the case with a lot of these names, right? Where is Shift 4 again? Same thing here. Shift 4, first of all, the fact that this has a short interest of close to 20% to me is still mind boggling. Still mind boggling. But okay, so be it. This stock went up 10%, 11%. By the way, when they released the report, stock was down 10%. Then the market opened, the stock was up 10%, and we closed out the day basically down 0.5%. Good report, better than expected. $1 billion share buyback program was announced for a company worth now six and something billion dollars, I believe. It's amazing because now they can take advantage of the cheap valuation, right? They basically also sent a message. Look, we believe we are going down because some of our, let's call it, competitors are not doing quite well. And with this share buyback program, of course, they can take advantage of that. Um, Same with a lot of other of these names. For example, actually, if you look at, where is it again? Oscar right now is going to sit at that 200-day moving average. If you look at Meta is in a free falling stage. We are actually going to fill some little gaps here and there from a long time ago. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia is also going to sit right here at the 50-day moving average. There are a lot of names that are going back to their moving averages. A Nebius, for example, CoreWeave is already under it, but we are back to, I wouldn't call it a real gap here at 100. Maybe that's the big number right here. SoFi has dropped under the 50-day moving average at pre-market action. We'll see what happens when the market opens. Rocket Lab is one that's supposed to report pretty soon. I don't know why it says estimate, because I'm pretty sure we already got the date for Rocket Lab. But Rocket Lab, as you can see, is now just under that 100-day moving average. Yesterday it was down 12%, so went under that 50-day one. We're now here back under $50, under the 100-day moving average currently. When the market opens, we'll see. I'm not going to predict that we're going to see all of these names bounce today, but this is pre-market. We've seen how pre-market does not reflect what's going to happen throughout the day. With Rocket Lab, I think it's much better to go into the earnings report at these prices than at $70 or so. Could this indicate that maybe Neutron is delayed? Maybe. I don't know. It's just making things up. I wouldn't know. But going to this report at these prices is, in my opinion, much better. How much lower do we need to go to reach the 200-day? Another 25%. If Neutron is delayed by quite a lot, maybe we get an overreaction. Could be. You're going to ask me, is it a buy before the earnings? Is it a buy after the earnings? Well, after the earnings, we'll have to see what happens, right? But before the earnings, I guess right now with the market sentiment, it's a flip of the coin here. It's a flip of the coin, of course. If you like it, you want to own it for the long term, I guess it's better. It's better for you to buy around here than it was around here, right? I think that's safe to say. That's safe to say. Of course, I like it more at 50 than I did at 70. It makes sense. It makes sense. Also, right now we are in a market where I would say sentiment can change quite drastically and quite quickly if we've got, let's say, an agreement on this whole government shutdown in the United States. I think on a one day, stocks can suddenly go up, right? That happened, where Friday, so yesterday was bloodbath. Wednesday, everything went back up after a bloody Tuesday. Okay, that didn't last long, but I do think that once, let's say, the government shut down, does get resolved, whenever that will be, the prediction markets have it for another 12 days or so. We're now, I think, at day 36 or day 37. Prediction markets have it at up until 49 days. So once we get that fixed, whenever that will be, I do think that you're going to see suddenly a huge reaction on the upside, which again goes back to the point that a lot of these names that are falling quite a lot, one, are names that are probably still up significantly year to date, right? Again, if we go to the heat map, for example, if we go to the heat map and we look at the year to date performance, a lot of the names are still performing extremely well, right? A lot of these names are still performing extremely well. Yes, someone's mentioning here the VIX is now much higher, of course. Historically, whenever the VIX is that high, it's usually a buying opportunity. Please spend some time today on what you will do in such a market. Are you selling? No. Again, why would I be selling? Just because it's red? On the contrary, we should be buying when things are red, not selling. But then again, am I in a rush? No, I'm not in a rush. I did buy yesterday a little bit more of Shift 4. That's purely because I planned on making my moves. Right? I planned on making my moves. I said before the earnings, I'm not buying since I already have a position. I want to hear more about Shift 4 during the earnings report and the earnings call, and then we'll allocate accordingly. I heard what they had to say. Numbers look good. Stock reacted however it did. I added a little bit more. But selling, no. I don't see why selling is a strategy right now, or is even a possibility for me. You could, again, okay, it is selling, but you could then just say, look, I have a couple of stocks right now. Suddenly, okay, maybe I want to concentrate my portfolio, right? This is the stories of Peter Lynch, right? You have positions, you have, let's say, 10 names. Suddenly, 2 out of the 10 names are not as interesting to you as they were before. And so you cut those 2 to allocate to some other names that have higher, let's say, you have higher conviction. It makes sense. I say time and time again, you are not married to any of these names. These names do not own, well, you don't owe anything to these names. These names do not know that you own them. And so if you have a list of names in your portfolio and you're saying, okay, look, right now, we've seen this reaction right here. Suddenly, I see, okay, I wanted to buy more, let's say, SoFi under $28. It is now under $28. There's another company that I own. Okay, it's down a little bit, but I have more confidence in SoFi than I have in that company. And so, okay, based on the current price, I would like to allocate more. I don't have cash, so I'm raising cash because I'm selling another stock. That's fine. That's fine. At the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with what you own. That's about it. You have to know what you own. You have to be comfortable with what you own. And yeah, never put a ring on it. Exactly, David. Exactly. You you don't like that's the thing that you have to understand. You are buying stocks because at the end of the day, you're looking to make more money in the future. And so if one name in your mind can make you more money in the future, can make you feel more comfortable in the future by just owning that name and not owning that name and the other, you should definitely cut the name and add to the others. Nobody's going to be mad at you. Maybe some people in the comments will say, oh, you paper hands, but who cares? Who cares? It's your portfolio. It's your money. It's your early retirement on the line, not a nice little comment. And I'm saying this as someone who reads thousands of comments. But it is the way, it is, I think, the way to go. It's not the easiest thing to do, but when you start doing it, when you start thinking that way, I think it makes your life much better. JJ, good morning to you as well. Thank you for the super chat. How are you thinking about your Pagaya? Well, obviously they're not looking great, right? Obviously they're not looking great. But next week is earnings. Next week is earnings, and so I'm not doing anything. We've seen Upstart, we've seen SoFi. It's not surprising to me that SoFi showed much better numbers and execution than Upstart. And I do still think that Pagaya is better than Upstart. And I think that will show in the numbers next week. Now, hopefully next week, good companies with good reports do get rewarded, because this week has been the exact opposite, right? You had Chip4, you had Oscar with good reports. Stocks are down. Next week, yeah, if Pagaya does not get that earnings bump, which is why I basically bought these options, is because to play that earnings, the earnings jump, because I do think it was cheap, then I'm screwed. Then either I take my loss, although we're still early November, so I still have about 2 months to play with. Of course, there's time decay and all of that, but I'm not touching them until, of course, the earnings report. And then we'll see. And then we'll see what happens. The bigger question is, of course, going to be on the, well, it's not bigger question, it's just more money. The PayPal options for March. For June, we still have a lot of time. For PayPal, my $100 strike price, March 2026, I'm of course giving them another quarter, which means Q4 plus guidance for 2026, which is going to be early February. And then the question will be, if we finally have a reversal in this whole sentiment around PayPal, then we're fine. If not, then I might just take a loss and roll whatever's left into the next one, into probably June, or maybe just allocate more to 2027, the January 2027. The thing with the options, and again, I'm still a very noob in this whole options play. I admit it. I know this is why I rarely do it. And the ones that I do is more longer term. But now I understand why people panic. Now I understand why people change their minds quite a lot. Because if you only do options, then time is not your friend at all, right? You could be buying great companies, but if you're wrong on the timing, you are completely screwed, which is not a problem for people that only buy shares. And now I understand why some people have an overreaction when things go bad. Now I understand the feeling of, okay, I know I own something cheap, but I need the market to understand that my options are expiring in X amount of weeks or X amount of months. It's completely different to when you're just buying shares and you're like, okay, if the market doesn't understand it in the next couple of months, that's fine, because eventually it will understand. And it's not like my shares are going to disappear. No, not at all. But with options, yes. If the market does not notice on time that you are correct, you are completely screwed. And it's very, very possible that a week after your options have expired, that the market suddenly understands it. Which again, here, time is not your friend with options. Time is your friend when you own shares. But luckily for me, the options for PayPal, again, I still have some times, right? There's just one for March 2026. The other is for June 2026. So again, quite a long time. And then 2027, which again, if by 2027 we're not at $100, then I'll admit I was completely wrong on this company, and or something is very wrong with the market. But until then, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, just me sharing my thoughts on this whole options or things. The way I look at things when you are options only, which I assume a lot of people are, which is a shame. But okay, you can also make a lot of money, but you can definitely lose a lot of money. Thank you for the super chat. Would you? I want to mention your name, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to butcher it, so I'm just going to say thank you. Would you add more to Oscar, and thoughts on Upsellera? Would I add more to Oscar? I would probably add more to Oscar, yes. But right now, again, like I said, there are a lot of names for me that are also reporting next week. So I am just sitting on my hands for now. I want to see how things evolve next week, and then I'll allocate accordingly. Of course, if a lot of names actually, yes, do stay, I do think that was a quick disconnect. But yeah, if things do stay at current levels until next week or 2 weeks from now, then yes, I'll probably start adding quite a lot to a lot of the names. An Appcelera, again, as you know, I have a very, very tiny position in Appcelera. It's a call option right now. It's like if it works out, then great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. They are doing something very interesting, very complex, but we still have a long, long way to go until we actually see like huge revenues coming in. And so I did a video, I think, or a live stream, I think, with Arnie a long time ago about Appcelera. Maybe it's time to update. Maybe it's time to update one. Fear of government shutdown. Well, it's not a fear of government shutdown. It's just the government has been shut down for 37 days. And the government shutdown has no effect. I think you are very wrong on that, respectively. Government shutdown has a big effect on everything. I think I've seen that plenty of flights have been cancelled, have been reduced. The government shutdown does have an effect. It does an effect on GDP. So to say that government shutdown does not have an effect, I think is just ignoring a very simple. Who's going to pick me up now? Is just ignoring a very simple fact that the government shutdown does have an effect. Does have an effect. The question is how long, how much longer would it go on? Am I adding to Duolingo? So I did a video about Duolingo when they reported earnings. I talked about the fact that this isn't great, that my timing was horrendous on this, but then again, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But in this case, clearly I lose. But I'm not adding to Duolingo despite the stock being down quite a lot. And I've explained why, and I'll explain it again. Because with Duolingo, the business so far is doing well. Okay, yes, growth rates are coming down. But then again, when you're still growing above 30%, I think that's still fine. But the messaging from management is, from a Wall Street perspective, not the greatest, right? We are now going to focus more on growing the user base and less on monetizing it. It might be them just trying to lower the bar, or maybe sending a different message to their base of users, right? Because before they've had that, remember, they stopped being extremely aggressive on social media. Their social media campaigns were one of the best things out there, which allowed them to grow quite a lot. Then they suddenly talked a lot about AI, and their core base, for some strange reason, hate AI. Okay, fine. Probably some Reddit forum told them to hate AI, so that's what they do. And so they stopped and they slowed down with that. Now that they said that they're going to focus on growing their user base, okay, that's going to be good, because suddenly, or that's the goal, you're going to see the user base grow. But if monetization is not a priority, of course, from an investment standpoint, you're thinking, okay, it's a bit strange for now, right? But it might just be them saying, look, we're trying to grow our user base, and then over time we're going to monetize that, which I think will work out. And maybe they'll try to monetize them in the meantime as well. They just don't want to signal that they're just pushing for more and more money, which means for me, okay, I'll have time to see how it plays out. Because yes, if we do see that monthly active users, daily active users continue to grow now suddenly rapidly, monetization doesn't yet follow, then okay, then you can say that, oh, the plan is working. And then once they do monetize these users, suddenly you're going to see everything else reaccelerate. Paid subscribers, part of the mix, starts to go up, because the margins of this business is good. It's improving. They've said it. It is improving. You can see the numbers. They expect it to improve thanks to AI. They're growing into China as well. And so I have time with this one. I have time to see how it plays out. Yes, it might very well be that the stock will go up and I'll buy it at higher prices. Okay, cool. Then that means that my position will be down less, which is still, again, I'm still down significantly right now. But I'm not adding because I want to see how things play out. That's purely it. I'm not adding because this is a bad business. If it was a bad business, I would have cut. I would have cut it and taken my loss and moved elsewhere. But I'm not adding because I know that I have time. It's what Meta, yeah, but I guess, but with Meta, I mean, you can monetize them way easier, right? With advertising. which I guess with Duolingo free version, the ad supported model you can do as well. But they really want to focus also on Duolingo Max and Super. But yeah, again, it's like you said, it's not a new concept. It's you make sure that your user base grows, and then you'll just apply the same monetization strategy that you've applied over the last couple of years. But okay. And no, I don't think that the market is down because of Michael Burry's puts. The guy is, when you think about it, you remove the big short, and he's just a random underperforming investor. Let's be honest. Right? The guy has called what? 30 out of the last 2 crashes. Last time he tweeted sell, the market went up over 50%. So, yeah. Plus, we do cover a lot of super investors, and as you've seen, his fund is by far the smallest one out there, by far. Tax loss harvest. Yes, this is another thing. It is very possible that a lot of people are just selling their losers right now. It's been an amazing year, but if you do have certain losers in your portfolio, yes, maybe now is the time to cut them. And I think that's also some things that is happening right now. It's always been this period, right? It's always been November, and so why not? Why not? It could very well be. And again, if you have the luxury to do this, right, to reduce your taxes because you have some losses, why not do it? It makes sense. It makes sense. Iren reported yesterday. Let's look at the extended hours actually. Where is it? Here it is. It's down now 3%, but then again, it probably has more to do with the current market reaction. And for people that ask, no, I'm not adding anything as of now. As of now, we'll see how things evolve. But again, next week we have CoreWeave, we have Nebius, there is Pagaya. I think Rocket Lab is also next week. There is dLocal. And so there are still a lot of companies for me that will report next week, which is why I'm just seeing what will happen. With Iren, they reported yesterday. Let me actually pull this one up. Earnings were good. Well, I mean, yeah, earnings were good, but people have retweeted this huge beat on EPS. And I'm like, yeah, of course there is a huge beat on EPS, because I don't know if you noticed, but there wouldn't have been any net income for the quarter if not for this. Where is it? Let me pull this one up. Right? People retweet things just because, one, they are just too lazy to read the whole thing, or they just want to pump their bags. Right? Yes, it is a good quarter. Yes, still, Bitcoin mining revenue makes up the majority of this business, right? But we're not buying it because of the Bitcoin mining revenue. We're buying it because we do believe that the AI cloud services revenue are going to tenfold, 100-fold from here on out. But if you scroll just a little bit, you look at this, right? Net income, 384.6 million. Huge increase, of course, year over year, right? But they say it a couple of times in their presentation that there is here a huge positive impact, right? Unrealized gain on financial instruments. That's 665 million compared to only 147 million same quarter last year. Markets are open. Markets are open, ladies and gentlemen. We have to open the market. Ding, 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 ding. Markets are open. Ding, 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 bing, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong. We are, let's see what we are. This is the heat map from yesterday. We'll see what happens right now. I'll leave this on for a couple of seconds, and we'll see how things evolve throughout the next couple of minutes. And then, of course, next couple of hours, we'll see what the market does. But currently, it seems like the names that we've seen before are still down. Okay, everything's still down right now. We have Zeta down 3.5, Iron 4, CoreWeave 3, same with Nebius, same with Applied Digital, Ready down 2, NVIDIA 2.2, Shift 4 is down 2%. AMD was crazy because AMD, right? Remember, the implied move was 8% from either side after the earnings. Stock was actually up 2% the day after. But yesterday the stock was down 7. Yesterday the stock was down 7. It's down another 1.5 right now. Micron is down 2. HIMS is down 1. Rubrik 0.7. Okay. With Rubrik, we still have a long way to go until we have an earnings report. Hood is down 1.7, Google 1.3, Oscar 1.6, Rocket Lab 2.2, SoFi 1.6. So all the rest are basically down less than 1%. PayPal is down 1%. Palantir is up 0.3, Intel is up 0.3, and Uber is up 0.4 right now. So yeah, we are toast. I wish I was toast. Toast was a very good report as well, right? We quickly touched on this in yesterday's video. Toast reported a good report, which is a much better indicator for, well, a much better indicator than a Fiserv, for example, if you want to look at Shift4. Because Fiserv and Shift4, there's not much overlap. Toast and Shift4, there's a lot more in restaurants, for example, right? Shift4 is number 2, Toast is number 1. Now, Shift4 did tell us that they've seen some small weakness Q3 at the start of Q4, same store sales, restaurants, and also some hotels, but that's something that Toast did not see. But despite that, the numbers were still quite good for Shift4. So nothing is like it seems with AMD. Do not get fooled. I mean, it's not just AMD right now, right? It's the whole shebang here. We are getting bamboozled. We are getting bamboozled. It's recession season. Well, again, officially recession only starts after 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, right? And I think last time was 3.8% positive. So we do have a long way to go until it's officially recession. But yes, there are probably some segments, maybe even some states in the United States that might be already in a recession. Yes, I think that's fair to say. I think that's fair to say. Am I adding more BMNR since the recent pullback? No, BMNR is probably the only name that I would cut to raise cash. Because again, unlike many others, I don't know, I think there are just way better companies out there to buy than an Ethereum treasury. The only reason I bought it, a very small position, is because yes, we might be in a tokenization path of everything in the financial sphere, let's say. But is that a reason for me to start making this a gigantic position? No, not at all. Not at all. Which is basically what I've been saying for quite a while. I have a small position and that's about it. Thoughts on Adobe? Adobe is basically flat today. I will be releasing my my interview and my thing with Adobe tomorrow. I think tomorrow, or maybe later today, but probably tomorrow. Sezzle, yes, I've seen that Sezzle is down. Sezzle is also one, right? We were up yesterday and then down. Today we're down another 3%. It's now under. Yeah, okay. Now it has completely filled that gap from 2 quarters ago. So maybe the retrace here is over. But with Sezzle, we are. They've reported quite good reports, right? We've talked a little bit about that yesterday. So yeah, could be a good opportunity if you like it. What else do we have here on the list? CRM. It's funny. CRM and Adobe are those types of stocks that don't overreact that much today. But then again, they've not really participated in this bull run either. Klarna is down 1%, has seen some buying action today, but still down. Levels very low. No, I think Voldemort. No, I think the levels are fine because I'm speaking quite close to the microphone and my volumes look quite good. So maybe check if you are on a low volume right now. because this time I know I'm not on a low volume mic. Figma also down a little bit, but has seen a little bit of buying action. Mercado Libre, what is one last? Where is it? Writing Neil. Mercado Libre. Let's see. Come on, Melly. Ooh, back 2,100. Okay. Yeah, yesterday was really, really a bad day. When you see those big candles, even for Mercado Libre, I assume New Holdings is holding. New Holdings is holding on that 50-day moving average right now. On that 50-day moving average, let's see what Iren. Iren is down 9% right now. So yeah, going back to the Iren stuff real quick. Again, I'll show you the report, but yeah, this thing right here, the unrealized gain on financial instruments, 665. If you remove that, of course, you don't have any net income. Of course, if you do, let's say, the same as last year, you will have maybe still a tiny bit. But people are like, oh, you look at this huge beat on earnings and stuff like that. Like, yeah, okay, but this is one of the main reasons. This is one of the main reasons. But that said, all in all, they are still doing what they should be doing. They are still doing what they should be doing. 140,000 GPU expansion by the end of 2026, targeting $3.4 billion in ARR. And that's just 16% of the around 3 gigawatts secured grid connected power. So if you just do the math here, based on this, 100% of the 3 gigawatts would bring them closer to a 900,000, I believe, 900,000 GPU fleet. Of course, the number can fluctuate based on what GPU they will own and et cetera, plus also the price that they can ask for it. But yeah, all in all, again, good. The comments on the earnings call were fine as well. They're in conversations with some other clients for 2026. This one, where is it? Where is the timeline? Wait. So yeah, Sweetwater 1.4 gigawatts, still scheduled for April 2026. I think once that's done, I think things get quite interesting here with Iren. And then the second one, we still have a long way to go for this one. But yeah, April 2026. This is probably one where the fund will really start. Here, net income EBITDA. I mean, they say it right here, right? Includes unrealized gains primarily on prepaid forward and capped calls in connection with convertible notes. Like, people just ignore it because they just want to show, oh, look at this huge net income increase. Like, it's really not that difficult to read. It's really not that difficult to read. But anyways, and people say, oh, you're bearish on the. How can I be bearish on the name? I own 500 shares of this company. I've been talking about this for quite a while. I'm not bearish. I just don't like it when people repeat lies, or not lies, but misinformed stuff. But okay. All in all, Iren, they're doing what they should be doing. The stock is obviously not the cheapest one out there, but then again, who is very, very cheap today? That category, not that many names. And we're back to $60, which is the same price you've seen a week ago. Literally a week ago, we were at $60. Now you might say, yeah, but we've had the Microsoft deal. I'm like, okay, cool. Isn't that great that you can buy now a name after a big deal? Seems like a good thing for me, right? Seems like a good thing for me. Nebius is now under the 50-day moving average, and we're nearing again that $100 mark right here. I do wonder where we're at the weekly. Okay, the weekly, we still have a long way to go until the moving averages. Earnings next week for Nebius. We're going to do a stream for that. CoreWeave is a bit in no man's land right now. They're also reporting on Monday, and CoreWeave is very close to being oversold, by the way. SoFi is down 4%. We're back at $26 right now. Where is it? Would I add Rocket Lab before the earnings? I did touch a little bit about Rocket Lab before the market opens. For now, no. For now, no, it might seem like a genius move after earnings to add before, depending on the results, right? And on the market's reaction. But no, I have my position and I'm willing to wait, because imagine if there is a neutron delay, I think we go down even further, which is great for me because I would like to own more. And if there is not, the numbers are good, we go back up, fine. I don't mind paying a premium for the extra information. Will I add Nebius more? I mean, I've been adding Nebius when it was the last time, when it was under 100 or at 100, 110 or so. Earnings next week, we'll see what happens, and we will allocate accordingly. We will allocate accordingly. Uber is the only one that's green today for now. For now, you had Intel that's basically flat. Duolingo is basically flat after taking a huge slap yesterday. PayPal is still down 1.3% because, yeah, why not? I mean, PayPal, this is basically it, right? Earnings reaction, very positive. Since then, it crashed. Oscar, earnings reaction positive. Since then, it crashed. Where is Shift 4? Earnings reaction positive, crash as well. Still holding that uptrend line that started, in this case, July 2022. We'll see if that one holds. What else do we have here in the comment section? I think you should advise us on how to obtain back our cash as well when there is a pullback. Well, obtain your cash is either you inject cash in your portfolio, or, like I said before, you cut your lowest conviction names in order to raise money. This is what I said at the start of this stream. I know it might not be the best solution for a lot of people, right? Because why would I sell a name that I own? Well, you sell it again because you want to raise cash and maybe allocate that cash to higher conviction names. Simple. This is not that simple, but it is simple. Duolingo, I'll just say broad-based, like for everything. Duolingo, Nebius, Rocket Lab, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You buy before an earnings, you are hoping that things go well. Again, if you want to own the name, then you buy before earnings and you'll allocate after the earnings again. Me personally, since I own a position in Duolingo, since I own a position in Rocket Lab, in Nebius, in Core, and all of that, there's no point in playing this earnings gamble, right? Because if it's good, then my position goes up after earnings. If it's good and the stock goes down, which is what we've seen with Oscar and Shift 4, then I'll probably add after earnings. If you want to own the stock, you feel like the price that you're paying today is fair, then just go for it, and you allocate more after the earnings based on the information that you get. Earnings are here to inform you more, right? They are here to make sure that, again, your thesis is correct. You know that your company is maybe performing better than one of the competitors, which is what we're seeing quite a lot these days, right? Is a company in the same sector is performing badly, and so all the other companies in that same sector are getting hit. It doesn't make much sense, because once your company reports and suddenly they report a good report, then it's quite clear that the quality of the names are not the same. Not prime example, but one of the examples I would like to use is Rubrik. Rubrik, we still have a long way to go, right? They will report at the start of December. Right now, the stock is getting hit based on Varonis earnings report, based on Commvault's earnings reports. Who else reported? I think Fortinet reported, but then again, there's not much overlap there. But it seems like the market is just putting a lot of names in the same basket. I do wonder what Zscaler has been doing. Yeah, Zscaler is also down over the past week. Not much, but it's down a little bit. What about CrowdStrike? Also, it's funny, exactly the same thing, Zscaler and CrowdStrike, exactly the same. Okta is also getting hit. Also, it started, basically started Monday. Palantir, where is Palantir? Where is it? I'll just write the name because for some reason my eyes don't function. So Palantir is down. Not that surprised. We're down at $172 right now, under the 50, a little bit above the 100-day moving average here on the daily. Um, is it cheap? No, it's less expensive than before. It's just less expensive than before. As much as I like the growth and the profitability and the margins of this business, like I said before, I think I have better opportunities, much better prices. I still think it's extremely expensive. I still think it's extremely expensive as a company. Amazon. Okay, this one I can find very easily. This one is here. Amazon is, well, we'll see. We'll see if we do close that earnings gap, which means we have to go back to 230, which is right at the 50-day moving average. Could be very interesting. I mean, even today, it's like Amazon is a crazy company. It's like I keep saying it's one of the best companies to own in your portfolio. Is it undervalued based on the current pricing metrics that we all use? Probably not. But is it undervalued based on the value that they create and they will create in the future? Probably yes. Probably yes. Same with, where are they? Same with Meta. Well, Meta is oversold. We're making our way to $600 per share. Okay, that's interesting. There is a small gap here from April. There's a small gap here from April, but that means it's down. Should be going down another 10% or so. Well, Meta is very interesting here. What's happening on the weekly for Meta? Yeah, so it can drop a little bit more till the 100, but then again, that's very Meta is one of those. Maybe Meta I'll add today. Yeah, I mean, Amazon, Meta, no-brainers. I mean, I still think that Google is a no-brainer as well. Yes, we are near all-time highs, but still crazy. Yes, I would buy Meta more. I mean, I know Meta is already a big position for me. It's the number one in the retirement portfolio, and I still have it in the other portfolio as well, just like Google, because, I mean, good companies, why not buy, right? But why not buy? Amazon crashed? No, didn't crash. They just came down. They just came down a little bit more. Chime is up 8%. Ooh, Chime is up 8%. Why is Chime up 8% today? Didn't they report like 2 days ago? Interesting. So I guess, let's see. By the way, we're also going to have a look at maybe some news in the market. Chime is up. Yeah. Why is that? Let's see. Let's see if we can find something. Chime. I'm not seeing much. When did they report? Wednesday. They reported Wednesday, but we're Friday, and now we're getting a 9%, 7% jump. Anyone know why exactly? Let me know. But yeah, they did have a good report. Same with Dave. Chime CEO said on Bloomberg that consumer spending was actually healthy. Okay, I guess their consumer is healthy. PayPal says it is seeing spending decelerate in the United States. Okay, PayPal, you're not really helping here. You're not really helping here, guys. But okay, I mean, Chime, Dave, they all reported a maintained at over rate. Okay, it's one analyst, I guess. But they reported very good earnings. And you know what? When I look at other fintech names, and then you look at SoFi, yes, I know I'm biased, but you start to say and think, why own anything other than SoFi? Of course, I own PayPal, quite crazy about it. But yeah, I don't know. SoFi is just so good. The execution there is flawless, great execution. And yeah, you start to think, well, why should you own anything else? Of course, some companies might perform better because they're smaller and they've been beaten down, etc., etc. But yeah, SoFi as a business is, especially because it touches on so many other things. Plus, you get future crypto optionality and whatever. But yeah, you start to think and say, maybe I don't have to own anything other than SoFi in this fintech sphere, in this fintech sphere. But I understand why other people want to own some other names, which is fine. It's okay. Um, Logical thought. Thank you for the super chat. Netflix before split. I mean, you know what they say, right? When a company announces a stock split, the stock usually goes up. Don't ask me why, because literally nothing really changes. Just that yes, you can buy more shares for less amount of money, but the market cap doesn't change. Yes, it's maybe easier to buy options as well because it's not that expensive. But yeah, historically speaking, when a company announces a stock split, before the stock split, the stock does go up. Is it going to happen again? I don't know, but um, you do buy companies based on the value that you get, not just because they have a stock split. But Netflix, yes, after the drop in earnings, I do think that the value is still there. The value is still there. SoFi is expensive. Why is SoFi expensive? And don't tell me it's because of the PE. Tell me something else. Yeah, PayPal. It's not enough that they sandbag everything. No, they have to literally pull everyone down. Literally pull everyone down with them. The horror, the horror. Um, but yeah, PayPal is down today 0.9%. 0.9%. SoFi will get a bank multiple, hence expensive. Why should SoFi get a bank multiple when they're growing much faster than a traditional bank? SoFi has a bank, we can all admit that. But you get a bank multiple because you're growing like a bank, which they're not. Which they're not, at least not right now. When they expect to continue their compounding growth at 20-25% for, and I quote, decades, I don't think you get to say that they deserve a bank multiple. If we're suddenly going to see that growth decelerates and yes, they do grow like a normal bank, then I would say yes, okay, put a banking multiple on them. But right now, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. Let's see. Do we have a little small recovery in some names? Not much. Not much. The local, yes, next week. Next week on Wednesday. Next week on Wednesday, stock is now on that 100-day moving average. Right now on the 100-day moving average. We have your SoFi is a terrible buy now. Why is it a terrible buy now? Was it a better buy at 32? Yes, the trade desk. Correct. I mean, thank God someone reminds me of what we have to talk about today. The trade desk. The trade desk is down 3%. You might say, oh, what happened? Another horrible earnings by the trade desk? No, actually not. Actually not. The trade desk reported yesterday and the earnings were actually not bad. Let me actually try and pull up something here. The earnings were not that bad. Let me just pull up a quick summary here from Brad, Stock Market Nerd. So they beat across the board. Okay, they beat across the board for this quarter and for next quarter as well. Not only that, they again touched on this whole Google, Amazon aspect, competitiveness, etc., etc. And as you can see, the growth rates are, of course, a bit lower than before, but it's still growing nicely. for the company. The stock is definitely much cheaper today than it was before, which is also quite good. Why doesn't the stock move much? Again, as you can, I think you can see that the whole market doesn't really move much, no matter what. But the trade desk, yeah, the I think the market is so bad that even the internet tells me that, guy, maybe stop talking about the market. But we're back. We're back. So the earnings were good. You are now paying a PE closer to 20 times forward earnings. You are now paying a PE forward PE, not trailing. I know, big difference, right? Big difference. You froze. I know I froze. Um, of 24.3 times. Again, it's probably going to be a little bit lower than that after today. This is a much better price to pay, right? This is a much better price to pay. But then again, the margins of this company are very good. Am I jumping to the opportunity to buy the trade desk at $44? No, but it's definitely a better stock to buy or to get at these prices than it was before. That's for sure. And again, you can say that, oh, Amazon and Google are going to eat their lunch. Well, Amazon and Google have not eaten their lunch up until now. You're going to say, yeah, but they might do it in the future. Well, Amazon, their advertising is mostly to serve their own, right? So I think that's fair to say. I think everybody's saying that as well. The trade desk is trying to serve everyone else in the open internet. Will I buy it? No, because again, I own Amazon, I own Google, I own Meta, so I have enough exposure to the advertising industry. Okay, Intel is up 2.3 right now. I did hear that Elon commented a little bit on Intel, that they might do something with Intel. Okay, maybe teasing something here. And that's what, yeah, the stock was up 4% when he mentioned that yesterday. But okay, just teasing. Duolingo is actually green. That might be a good signal. And PayPal, there is a little bit of buying action right now. And I did see a super chat come by, so let me go back to that. Chris, thank you for that. Thank you for a super chat. Yeah, Open Door also reported. Stock was down a lot more. We're now down only 6%. Chris Bruno, longtime fan, Ave Point reported yesterday, and now it's tanking despite good numbers. Any thoughts? It's similar but different to Rubrik. Let's see. AV, it's down 8%. Let's see what they do. Ave Point. What is this? Provides Microsoft 365 data management solutions worldwide. Okay. A SaaS platform, cloud-hosted collaboration systems by providing suite of software products. This company focuses on data protection, governance, compliance management extensions for Microsoft 365, Dynamics, Salesforce, and Google Workspace. Okay, I didn't know this was a worthy business to go public with, a business plan. Let's see what last quarter or this quarter told us. Did you short anything? No, I don't. I don't short. Let's see. Ave Point. I survived. Okay, so revenue increased 24%, SaaS revenue 38%. Okay, the majority of the revenue is SaaS, obviously. Total ARR up 26% year over year. Customer spending above, well, ARR above 100K is up 21. Again, the numbers look good. I just don't understand why we need companies like this. That's just like honestly, I don't understand why we need companies like this. Like they exist because I guess there is a sort of demand. Otherwise, they would not have been growing like this. With operating cash flow year to date 55.6 million. Okay, rule of 40, 48, exceeding the target of. Okay, numbers look good. I don't know much about the company, but just the short description here to me is just it's not that attractive to buy. They provide these types of solutions for these products. Cool. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's like Rubrik is a cybersecurity name, but you might say the reaction of the stock maybe might be like Rubrik. Might make more sense, yeah. But yeah, to me, I don't know. The 5 minutes that I've just spent looking at it, I'm not interested nor impressed, nor impressed. Open the door down 7%. Let's see what happened with that one yesterday, because they reported they did a live stream, and I think with the help, I think Vlad Tenef from Robinhood made an appearance, I believe. So open door. Let's see what they told us yesterday. So house purchased 1,169, revenue 915 above guidance. I guess for the numbers for the quarter, it doesn't really matter that much. It's more about what's going to happen down the line. Let's see if we can find something. Open Door proactively raised nearly $200 million through its ATM program. Yes, we know about that. To align with shareholders and reward long-term belief, Open Door declared a pro rata dividend warrant, issuing 3 series of of freely tradable warrants. Series KAZ, Kaz is, I believe, the new CEO's name, or like it's short for that. Funny, with exercise prices $9, 13, 17, which of course much higher than where we're at today. One warrant for every 30 common shares held. The company's headcount has been reduced to 1,100 people. Okay. Open Door is targeting adjusted net income profitability by the end of 2026. Okay, measured on a 12-month go-forward base. Okay, that's a small detail, small detail here, but I mean, good targets. At least now you can measure against something. This to say longer term, the company aims to acquire around 6,000 homes by the end of Q4 2026. Target a contribution margin 5 to 7%. Okay. Interesting. The warrants are interesting structure. I mean, stock was down more. It's now recovering. Okay. I mean, I guess 2026 is going to be a very easy year for investors to basically follow the goals and how the company performs. Let's see. Iren down 9. No, as I explained earlier and in another video, not right now. Not right now. What will I add more? Well, we'll see next week again, because next week it's a pretty busy. It's a busy earnings week. We have CoreWeave, we have Nebius, we have. I do believe that we still have Rocket Lab next week. We have Duolingo, we have Pagaya, so still have a long week to go, and then allocate accordingly. But yeah, every name is on the table for me to add more, like a Nebius, a Rocket Lab, a D-Local. But the one name where I probably add today after the stream is probably going to be Meta. Uh, Meta is oversold. Meta is back at almost $600 per share. So I might just add that. I might just add to that one. Where is Nvidia? Thoughts on Nvidia? I mean, it's still a great company. Still a great company. We still have some time. They report mid-November, so 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, they report. I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. We do have. I mean, they're not going to sell Blackwell chips to China, according to the news that I've seen. That I've seen right now. So it's not the greatest one. So it says it right here. NVIDIA CEO says no plans to ship Blackwell AI chips to China. He clarifies that when he said China will win, he meant they have strong capabilities in this new tech, not that NVIDIA was favoring them. Huang also said it's up to China if NVIDIA products ever return to that market. Okay, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Because right now, anyways, right now, NVIDIA China is at zero, right? The market there for them is at zero. We'll see how that evolves. We'll see how that evolves over time, but it's definitely not included in the guidance. It's definitely not included in the guidance. Same with AMD. So they have other markets to focus on right now. I mean, CoreWeave report Monday, so I guess you'll get more information on Monday. NVIDIA, SoFi, different companies, different strategies, I guess. Let's see. Google, isn't it Ironwood for Google? I believe so, no? I believe so. Fiserv is among the most bought stocks by super investors right now. How do we know that? Because I'm pretty sure we do not yet have Super Investors 13F coming out. Or maybe we haven't. I didn't see anything, but let me check. Let me check real quick. I do think that the 13Fs are about to drop, I think, next week. Let's see, Fiserv, if we can find something. François Ronchon has 3.8% of his portfolio. Other than that, not that many super investors have it for now. I am on Data Roma, and I'm not seeing much. I'm not seeing much. Like all of them are still in Q2. Right? All of them. This is still Q2. If you look at his portfolio, that's Q2 2025. We're waiting for Q3. We're waiting for Q3. I have here 50, 100, and 200. Simple moving average in this case. For the daily and the weekly, obviously. 50, 100, 200, yes. Of course, you can go shorter if you want, but yeah, I think good enough. Good enough. I mean, Fiserv is crazy. It's now back to 2018 prices. Okay. Okay. But I'm more interested in other names here. So Shift 4, $64 here. Shift 4, $64, literally on that uptrend line right now. Oscar is greenish, not by much, but a little bit. Not by much, but a little bit. Yeah, Novo Nordisk. My thoughts on Sentinel-1. Again, when we talk about cybersecurity, I just rather own. Rubrik. I rather own Rubrik. I know it's not the same. But if we're purely talking cybersecurity, I own Rubrik, and I explain today. I'll probably make a video about Rubrik again. But Novo Nordisk, we're maybe making a double bottom here at Same price as we were at in August, $45, $44 on the daily. It's extremely oversold. They just reported, and look, it's it looks cheap, but it's not cheaper, right? It looks cheap, but the company is down because fundamentally things are not going as well as previously expected or as before. And so stock is down for good reasons. Yes, they've had a deal, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, with the US government. They're going to invest quite a lot in the US. Prices are expected to come down. But with Novo Nordisk, I think this is one of those, again, yeah, it might be a great opportunity to buy right now, but I do also think that you have a lot of time. You have a lot of time to see um, how it plays out with Novo here. Just, I know it's not the same thing, but just to see. Yeah, okay. Just to see if I was correct on that one. Nike, same thing. It might be a good idea, but I do think that you have a lot of time to see how it plays out. These are types of names where the turnaround is going to take more time than what you think. I'm not saying that I can time it to perfection. I'm not. But when you look at the company, when you look at the issues, there's also a new CEO. Um, then you have to understand that yes, these things take time to turn around. And if you are patient, then great. But if not, then I guess there are other names. There are other names that you could look at for sure, for sure. Um, all right. If there is nothing else, let me actually check if there's something else we can look at real quick before I end. Um, the fear and greed index is, of course, extreme fear right now. Okay, maybe if we have like 2 consecutive green days, suddenly we are extreme greed. But yeah, other than that, not much. Not much. It's another bloody day in the market. Another bloody day in the market. If you don't know what to do, just don't do anything. It's the perfect thing, right? If you don't know what to do, don't do anything. Did I talk about Adobe already? Well, there's not much to talk, but I will release my interview video probably tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. Um, I was at the Adobe Max event. I interviewed the VP Investor Relations, so I'll release that. I'll release that probably tomorrow. I did also have a talk with VP Gen AI Business Ventures. They are she's more focused on Adobe Firefly Foundry, which I do think is a very big deal for them. Still early on, but it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But yeah, tomorrow I'll probably drop the Adobe video interview for you guys. It's, in my opinion, I know it's like, oh, you cannot use this comparison. It's like, is this the new Google? Probably not, right? Probably not, because Google is still Google. But it is a very cheap company that still grows double digits, low double digits, but still grows double digits, very profitable, buying back shares. And I think people, it's misunderstood. It's misunderstood. Um, but yeah. Blake, hello, hello. How are you? Am I a buyer in this market? Well, today I'll probably only buy Meta, and the rest I'll wait. VIX, well, VIX in October was at 28. Right now, it seems like we're at 20.7. Yeah, I mean, but the VIX has stayed quite. It's true that when the VIX is at 15, 16, it's like usually the price to buy, to hedge a little bit. But yeah, now we're at 20. Okay, fine. You would have made to 30% or so. It's possible. Adding Oscar, no. No, like I said, I'm not adding much or anything. Just yesterday, I added some Shift 4 at higher prices, obviously. Um, I say obviously because, again, I'm not here to time the market. And today I might just buy a little bit more of Meta. Shift 4, I think, I mean, I added yesterday at higher prices, so today it's lower. I think the quarter was good. The $1 billion buyback will definitely help. Right, when the stock is cheap, they can just buy way more. Um, but that's just my opinion. If you like the business, you like the price you're paying, I think the answer is quite clear. I think the answer is quite clear. So, with that said, I'll end here the therapy session. Again, markets, it's not the greatest picture, of course, not the greatest picture. Lots of things are down. I know. For the week, it's a horrible week for high beta names and maybe for um, other names as well. At what price you buying Meta today? Like today's price. Today's price is good enough. Is good enough for me. But yeah, again, if you don't know what to do, just don't do anything. If you like a company at certain prices, buy it at these prices. Can it go lower? It can always go lower. It can also suddenly go higher. That's important. You have when you buy something, buy it because you like the price that you're paying for it. If that's the case, then you will worry way less. Now, oh, I should have waited today and bought it. Yeah, okay, I could have waited today and bought Shift 4 at 5% less, 10% less, whatever. But will it really matter? Like I know Travis, one of my Motley Fool colleagues, tweets about it all the time. It's like you're willing to wait for a 5-10% lower price in order to get a 10x is probably going to make you miss the 10x because you waited for that 5-10% reduction. Is it worth it? Probably not. Probably not. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Go away now. No, that's the drinker. But yeah, anyways, have a good rest of your day. Look at the companies that you would like to own. Look at the companies that maybe you would not like to own anymore and raise cash through them. That's also a strategy. And yeah, we shall see each other in the next video and live stream probably back on Monday. Remember, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, a couple of years from now, are you going to remember this Friday in November? What is it? 7th? Probably not, right? Probably not. And so that's all I've got for you right now. Short-ish therapy session. Um, go outside, take some fresh air, have some fun, and we'll see each other in the next one. Have a great rest of the day and have a good week.